evolution is from simple to complex. At the macro level, smaller galaxies which existed billions of years ago combined together into the massive galaxies of today. At the micro level, atoms merge to form complex molecules. At an intermediate level, planets were formed by planetoids, which themselves were created by many small-sized objects which were orbiting a protostar. Constituent entities lose their separate existence when they merge to create a more complex entity. In the process, the mass of the constituent entities do not cease to exist. The Vedic idea of Pitru Devatas evokes this fundamental principle which is built into the cosmos.
Future models suggest that dust grains grow by colliding and sticking together. However, when the bigger grains collide again at high speed, they are often smashed to pieces and sent back to square one.
Dust traps are zones where comet-sized objects can grow.
This is a dust trap, a region where bigger dust grains are trapped and can grow much larger by colliding and sticking together. The observations also suggest that kind of a comet factory has been found, because the particles in this dust trap can grow up to the size of comets, a few kilometers across.
Meteorites tell a story of how comet-sized objects create planet-sized objects.
Contains minerals and metals from every part of the solar dust cloud.
So what we're looking at is the assemblage of all these little ancient materials that were floating around the sun in the nebula of dust and gas, and when they hit each other, they gradually aggregated into solid bodies, which got bigger and bigger.
Gradually, billions of these rocks grew as they orbited the sun. First to the size of boulders, then as big as houses, and they kept on growing. When an object reached about half a mile across, its own gravitational pull became strong enough to draw other objects towards it.
Some object in this huge number of objects going around the sun, one of them had to be the biggest. And as soon as it gets bigger than the others, it's sweeping up more objects, just like you're driving through a cloud of mosquitoes.
Honoring ancestors is a hallmark of life forms with a long lifespan, such as the elephants. It is no wonder then that this practice was prevalent in all ancient cultures of the world. Rishis used the metaphor of widely practiced tradition of honoring ancestors to draw a student's attention to a more complex idea. Let's see how Pitru Devatas evoke the idea of a continuum of growth. The concept of Pitrus is related to the biological reality of every generation's genetic blueprints being derived from the contributions from all the previous generations. Pitrus represent another idea. A human civilization can flourish without a break only because parents invest the prime time of their life in preparing the next generation. Their energies then wane and subsequently their existence ceases. But they continue to exist in the memory of their descendants and through the genetic material which they give off to their offsprings. Vedic texts venerate this life principle as the Pitrus. The mantras for Pitrus and their Nakshatra Maga contain phrases which strongly suggest a continuum of growth and the bearing of gifts from the older generations which has now become dormant. Pitru Devatas have been placed next in sequence to Sarva Devatas as if indicating that the Rishis intuitively understood the fact that well demarcated orbits in the dust and gas circling a protostar is a precursor to the maturing of full-size planets.